There's a watch that costs more than most houses, $500,000. And when you press a tiny button on its side, it doesn't just tell you the time, it sings it to you. But here's what most people don't understand. The price tag isn't about luxury. It's about something far more fascinating. Inside this watch, there are 650 individual parts working in perfect harmony, many of them smaller than a grain of rice. And every single one was assembled by hand. But why? Why would anyone build something this impossibly complex? The answer reveals one of the most obsessive pursuits in human engineering, and it's not what you think. The watch we're talking about is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Grande Complication. Now, before you click away thinking this is just about expensive toys for billionaires, stay with me. Because what's happening inside this watch is a level of mechanical genius that makes a smartphone look simple. And the really wild part? The principles that make this thing work were figured out centuries ago, refined over generations, and pushed to their absolute limit by a small group of master watchmakers who spend their entire lives perfecting microscopic components you'll never see. So, what makes this a Grande Complication? That term gets thrown around, but here's what it actually means. This watch doesn't just tell time. It performs 3 impossibly difficult mechanical tasks simultaneously, each one a nightmare to engineer on its own. The first is called a perpetual calendar. Now you might think, okay, a calendar in a watch? Big deal. But this isn't just displaying dates. This mechanism knows the difference between a 28-day February and a 31-day January. It accounts for leap years. And here's the kicker. It'll run accurately until the year 2100 without adjustment. Think about that. A purely mechanical system powered by springs and gears that understands the irregular mathematics of our calendar system a century in advance. But we're just getting started. The second complication is something called a split-seconds chronograph, or rattrapante. And this is where things get genuinely mind-bending. Imagine you're timing 2 runners in a race. They start together, but one pulls ahead. You need to record both their times independently. With a digital stopwatch, easy. But with mechanical components, you need 2 chronograph hands that can move together, split apart on command, then snap back into synchronization, all while maintaining perfect accuracy. The engineering required to make this work involves friction management, spring tension calculations, and tolerances measured in microns. One watchmaker described building a rattrapante as trying to choreograph a ballet with metal dancers that weigh almost nothing and move at different speeds. The movement that powers this, caliber 2885, contains over 650 parts working together. To put that in perspective, a standard automatic watch might have 150 parts. This has more than 4 times that, all fitting in a space smaller than a cookie. But here's where it gets truly insane. The third complication is called a minute repeater. Press a button, and the watch chimes out the current time using different tones for hours, quarter hours, and minutes. Why would anyone need this? The original purpose was practical. Before electricity, you could tell time in the dark. Now it's pure mechanical artistry, and building one is considered the ultimate test of a watchmaker's skill. Here's why. The minute repeater requires 2 tiny hammers striking 2 carefully tuned gongs. These gongs are cut from a single block of metal and shaped with such precision that each produces a distinct musical note. The hammers need to strike with consistent force. The sound needs to resonate clearly. And all of this is powered by a separate spring mechanism that doesn't interfere with the watch's timekeeping. One misaligned component, something off by a fraction of a millimeter, and the entire system fails. Now think about what this means. Someone, somewhere, spent months, maybe years, learning to assemble these components. The finishing alone takes months. We're talking about hand-polishing surfaces you need a microscope to see properly, beveling edges on parts smaller than a grain of rice. Why? Because in high watchmaking, perfection isn't negotiable. It's the entire point. The Royal Oak Grande Complication uses skeletonized architecture, meaning much of the movement is visible through the dial. Every gear, every lever, every spring is exposed. There's nowhere to hide imperfections. This transparency isn't just aesthetic, it's a statement. It's the watchmaker saying, "Look at what we can do." Here's something that'll change how you think about this. The 52-hour power reserve. That's how long the watch runs after you fully wind it. Now, modern smartwatches barely last a day. Some mechanical watches run for weeks. So 52 hours doesn't sound impressive until you understand what's draining the power. It's not just moving hands around a dial. It's operating a perpetual calendar that's calculating leap years. It's maintaining tension in a chronograph system with split seconds functionality. It's keeping a minute repeater mechanism ready to fire on demand. Managing power distribution across all these systems simultaneously while maintaining accuracy is an engineering feat that rivals anything in modern technology. So why does this matter if you're never going to buy one? Because this watch represents something profound about human capability. We live in an age where everything is digital, disposable, upgradable. But this is the opposite. It's permanent. It's analog. It works the same way today as it would have in 1750, just refined to impossible standards. There's no software update that can improve it, no battery to replace, just springs, gears, and human obsession. And that obsession has pushed mechanical engineering to places most people never see. The principles developed for these complications influenced everything from automotive engineering to aerospace precision manufacturing. The pursuit of perfection in watchmaking created innovations in metallurgy, friction reduction, and microscopic assembly techniques that had applications far beyond luxury goods. The caliber 2885 movement isn't just complicated, it's hand-assembled, every single one. There's no assembly line, no automation, just a master watchmaker working under magnification, fitting components together with tweezers and patience. The training to reach this level takes decades. And these watchmakers, they're not just following instructions. They're problem solving in real time, making microscopic adjustments based on how components interact, how temperature affects metal, how humidity impacts lubrication. This is craftsmanship as high art. And the $500,000 price tag? It's not really about the gold case or the prestige. It's compensation for thousands of hours of human expertise, refined over centuries, concentrated into something you can wear on your wrist. So next time someone dismisses expensive watches as just status symbols, remember this. Inside that Royal Oak Grande Complication is a perpetual calendar that knows we'll skip a leap year in 2100, a rattrapante chronograph performing mechanical gymnastics, and a minutes repeater that literally sings. All powered by springs. All assembled by hand. All representing the absolute peak of what humans can achieve when they refuse to compromise. That's not luxury. That's legacy.